Welcome everybody to right off of Interstate 17, right north of Phoenix, Arizona. Today we're going to be exploring the area right off the highway, and we're going to be finding lots of cool history and things that you had no idea were back here. Maybe. Okay, so I saw a sign for a rest area, which I believe is the Sunset Point rest area. That I know a lot of you would know that here, and that's really your clue for where we're going. I wanted to film the beginning here, the beginning of the trip, because this is just such an unlikely location, and I'm actually a little bit nervous for parking where I need to park. Doing my research, I think it's completely legit, but it still makes me nervous because it really is like right off the highway. But I'll tell you when we get there. Today's gonna be like very rich in lots of different things. All right, and this is what it looks like when you get to the top of that climb out of Black Canyon City. It levels out. I think we are now officially on Black Mesa, part of the Agua Fria National Monument. And what I'm looking for is right off of the highway, there's going to be a windmill. And you've probably seen this lonely windmill and wondered, why is there this random windmill and structure right off the highway and nothing else? Well, that's a clue as to where we want to turn today. It's like over every rise do I see it. And if I miss the turn, that would suck too. It's actually right here, and there's actually a fellow hiker here today, which gives me confidence that it's all good. And traffic naturally slowed down here too. So, but you see what I mean? This is a major interstate, 75 miles an hour. And you turn off right here, and there could be a lot of mud, so be careful. But apparently this is completely legit. But I'm going to tell you some other people's stories that you might want to hear also before you make decisions here. But I'm going to get situated and park sensibly in case others want to come up here today. But yeah, who would have thunk? I've driven by this a million times and just thought it was private land, but it's not. I'm willing to bet many of you from Phoenix that have driven the same route as many times as I have made note of that lone windmill out there and wondered why, who, what. And that is not our prime goal for today's walk out that ways, but it will be our first stop to investigate. Note, it's a sign from the U.S. Department of the Interior, the BLM. So these are our public lands. This is BLM land. Beyond, and the gate here is to keep cattle from getting out of here. They range on this land out here in Black Mesa. And you don't want cows crossing Interstate 17, I don't think. That would not be fun. What is it we're doing, you might ask? Because I don't think I've said yet. Let me explain. We're gonna take this, what appears to be like an old road, an old mining road, to the site of an old prosperous mine named the Richinbar mine. And not only that, we're apparently gonna be able to see the markings of petroglyphs left by the Perilous Mesa culture that we studied a little bit in our Agua Fria monument episode we released recently, and the remains of a Pueblo, similar to Pueblo La Plata, I hear. So we have a lot of exciting things to seek out. And not only do I plan on showing you old history and stuff today, I also hear that somewhere right out there is the edge of a canyon overlooking the Agua Fria River, which we hiked to the bottom of too in Badger Springs, which is right up the road from here. Maybe a few more miles, and the exit is up that way somewhere. So we should get beautiful views overlooking a canyon of the Agua Fria River. All Trail says this is like 2.3 miles. It's kind of like a spur trail where we're gonna go down this way to the canyon. Then there's like a loop, and I'm assuming it's on that loop that we're gonna find the ruins of both the old mining town as well as the Indian ruins and petroglyphs. I honestly don't know much. I couldn't really find any info on this. I didn't look hard, mind you, but it does not appear to be I don't know if it's really in use today. Interestingly though, there's solar panels with bird poop on them on top of those big white tanks. So who knows? Maybe it's just a watering hole for cattle. I don't know if they corral them here anymore. You could see evidence over there perhaps of where they used to do that. And some old wooden cabin looking thing out there. And then way down there are the other hikers of the day. To me, that looks like one of those things where they would load cattle, those ramps that they'd walk up to a truck and then take them off to wherever they were going, probably to see their end. But that's my best guess. If you guys know better, always let me know. All right, I think it's about high time we get in here and see what this is all about. It's got a corrugated roof. It's actually looks quite aged. Looks like there was white paint in here at one point and a bed spring. So could it be a rancher's cabin, or maybe a little office or something, or a little place to, probably some kind of living quarters, I would say, is the most likely explanation I would have. So want to hear something really, I would say, like unlikely. I was walking this way and there were a couple hikers coming and they recognized me and came over and said hello. So, hey guys, it was awesome to meet you. I always am unsure the etiquette if I should use people's names or not. So I always err on the not doing it, but I think you know who you are, because how the heck are you gonna run into people out here? So you're not, probably. Okay, so I think we explored this thoroughly. So the next stop is to get to the main attractions, plural, which, if I did my research right, should be right up there at the edge of a beautiful canyon. There is a helicopter coming in low and fast. I saw it take off like from the other side of the mountains, heading the other way, it looked like, and it's coming almost straight at me. Maybe I'm trespassing and the government is here to take care of this. Boy, what a view they must have right now, going over the Agua Fria in that canyon, one that we're about to get a better look at here very soon. I might be more excited about the view than the old mining stuff that we're gonna look for. I'll give you a few more basics about what I think we're gonna be going to see. I mentioned earlier that this mine produced heavily, I think in the early 1900s, but it has its roots back in the 1800s, as much does out here when people came out west in search for riches and gold and valuable metals. And this place back in the day had a lot of promise, apparently. We'll be sure to put links to the articles that I read down below, just so you can see a couple varied, maybe opinions on a few certain things, some loose science maybe. But one of the articles being a little bit more, seems a little bit more grounded in fact. But for the most part, there's not too much, in-depth information I could find here. Just a few tidbits, some human stories too, that we'll tell when we get down here. But yeah, at one point, this would have been a pretty busy place. Anyone out there know definitively if this could be a Hohokam ball court? It looks about the approximate size and shape for that, but would really seem unlikely with all the activity and hustle and bustle that once was out here, that something like that would remain undisturbed. But maybe it was excavated later. Maybe it's the remnant of an old tank for cattle to collect water. It's probably my first guess, is it's something like that, but we're making note. Oh, that's beautiful. From my vantage point, with my human eyes, I can see saguaro cacti on the cliff sides down deep in there, but not up top, as you can clearly see. But now you're starting to see this beautiful canyon emerge here right in front of us. We did not go far. I think the whole thing's 2.3 miles, so maybe a mile, and I'm pretty confident I cannot hear the highway anymore. Nor can you see it, because we went down this little hill here. So now I feel like we're in the middle of nowhere proper. I didn't really realize too that a lot of the hike was like along the rim of this thing. I mean, I guess maybe this isn't the canyon proper, there's another hill over there, but it's a beautiful hike just on its own. Probably safe to say this isn't Hohokam, its origin. I don't think concrete was among the things they used, although they used a concrete-like substance called caliche, like a mixture of dirt and other sand particles to make a concrete-like thing, but not like this. So I can't read the top one. It's like Gal Glim Company, or probably California something company, Los Angeles, California. A clue to the people that were out here. And all over there's old rusted bits of metal, things that I couldn't tell you what they are or what they were. Some of you out there seem to be good at that and identifying what some of this stuff is, so keep it coming. And there's the foundation of whatever this was. I've seen a couple old photos of this place, probably from the 1940s. Old cars and stuff like that. So not 1800s photos. But I don't care if you like old mining or not, because that right there is a view worth getting up into the air for, I would say. I was not 100% prepared for the scenic nature of today. I knew it'd be nice, but this is something else. It's very worth coming down this hillside because there's a whole concrete structure down there, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some mine shafts close by. I've seen video of them, so I think they all are fenced off, but make no mistake, they are quite dangerous still. And you see evidence of lots of structures lost to time. I presume the roofs of old buildings that were all over here. Here's a nice little dump of old cans, like this spot right here. Tons of cans, probably from the era. I'm gonna guess the 30s and 40s. But, you know, I don't think we're gonna find anything on these that we can read anymore. Sometimes you get lucky and unearth something you can discern, but I don't think on any of these today. Part of the structure of something from the mining operation. Probably just have to use our imaginations at this point. This is one of those places to get your tetanus shots too. Lots of rusty nails. Probably because all the wood is gone now and all that's left are these. And I'm looking to see if I could find old 1800s looking things, and this looks like a candidate right there. Looks like a blacksmith nail or something, square head in shape, but barely anything left. Most of these look more, you know, from the 1900s, probably the 1930s, 1940s, maybe 1920s, when this thing was still in use. I did a little bit of aerial reconnaissance with the drone to get good footage of the canyon and the overall area, but to find out where the mines are. So now I understand, now that I'm here and have flown above it. The mines, the tailings are up this road. So basically the way we're gonna go back anyway. So I think I chose wisely doing this in a clockwise direction. I'm wondering though, up there at the top of that hill, if there might be some petroglyphs, because not sure where those are supposed to be located. I didn't do research. There's a lot of boulders at the top, and when I flew over, it looks like there's a lot of foot traffic that goes to the top over there, either for a good view or because there's something interesting. So before we go find the mines, let's get up to the top and see what we can find. Haven't seen much evidence of old wood. This whole day, everything's been deteriorated, but here's like some kind of old shack. What remains, very little. You see how fast this stuff just deteriorates. The metal too, not just the wood. All right, usually when we see signs like this, it's a warning not to disturb the stuff here, the traces of America's past. So we are here. I think we found something, probably the petroglyphs. Oh wow, look at the view of the river down below. And I can hear it again on this side. So let's see what's over this ways. I see some. They look amazing too. Look at how treacherous this is, kind of though. You gotta be really careful here. Hopefully this rock doesn't move and there's no rattlesnakes today. But look at that, there's like deer. They're really faded too, but these are amazing. Some of the finest I've seen. Maybe not the best preserved, they look worn with time, but there's many of them. And I saw actual deer. Whether I got them on video or not is another question, but I imagine this area is full of deer. I see a lot of hunters back here, and I presume that's one of the things they hunt are deer. Mule deer? I think there's some kind of white-tailed deer in Arizona also, so I couldn't say which one it is, but there you go. All right, maybe for those who are new to the channel, these are known as petroglyphs. They're rock etchings. So they're basically, they scraped off this stuff called the desert veneer, this darker material on the top to reveal a lighter underlayer of this rock to make these carvings. So there's another style called pictographs, which are actually painted on with pigments. This is not that. And then I did another exploration where I went to a museum about petroglyphs, and we learned that nobody could really say what any of this stuff meant to these people. It could be clan symbols for one, the clan of the deer, the mule deer. Maybe it's a sign that there's good hunting in this area, or the types of animals you might find here. All these seem to be deer. Or they could have just been something they did in their spare time when they were bored, sitting around just doing art, like scribbling like we would have with Crayola crayons on paper. You know, this would be their version of that. Looks like there's a lot of foot traffic that heads down this way also. There's some more boulders down there. So maybe worth a quick peek to see if I can see any more petroglyphs. But that looks like a great point to see these canyons from multiple directions that you can't get from up where we started. I guess the bonus is you're getting to see some beautiful saguaro cacti today, which really wasn't any of my intention at all. So I'm pleased I could bring that to some of you that don't get to see that every day. I did come to the backside of these rocks, and there are a couple more petroglyphs. It's like a humanoid figure down here. That looks really interesting. But there were a couple more deer. They're hard to see, and that's about it. So I really have just seen mainly what appear to be deer. I'll give you an example of another one. Let's see if I can find it again. Yeah, see? Right there. So now I'm gonna be kind of embarrassed if I don't find the Pueblo. I'm gonna have faith that it's on the trail on the way back. I just figured it was probably an easy thing on the trail. So if I'm wrong, at least we saw petroglyphs. All right, I see some barbed wire fencing and what looks like to be a hole or a pit. So I assume this might be one of the major shafts that are around this area. We'll see if we can see inside of it from on ground level. Might be kind of a challenge. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a head frame here once. Or maybe this is like a adit or a portal or something instead of like a pit. That'd be cool. I don't plan on going inside any mines, but what do we have here? Wow, it's not even really fenced off. You can actually see timbers in there. This is a really dangerous one, because you could see it's just like loose dirt on the edge. It's as close as I'm willing to get. I mean, this looks really flaky and breakable, but evidence of the mining operations at the Richinbar mine. How cool. On my drone recon earlier, this is where I saw like the biggest piles of tailings and probably what was a mill. I think they had a really large mill here. back in the day too. Like I said, this place was supposed to be pretty hoppin' in its heyday. See another pit, actually. Evidence of another mine. And you could see the fencing isn't the strongest. Holy moly. All right, that is a bottomless pit. Holy crap. I wonder if that's a vertical shaft that they connected to the tunnels down below. We saw that horizontal tunnel over there. So I'm also wondering if that horizontal tunnel was where they found evidence of ancient mining. So I think the way this was discovered was the original prospectors found a small cave, I bet that's it, where presumably the Hohokam or the ancestral, maybe the Perry Mason culture, or perhaps one of the other native cultures kind of dug out and mined out material. So the white man wasn't the first out here, and I bet you that thing we saw over there is the beginnings. This, however, does not appear to be anything that the natives could have been capable of doing, and that is a neat shaft. It's scary. Holding on to one of these metal things here, white knuckle in it. It's in there pretty sturdy, so I can kind of lean over a little bit and get my camera over there, but I'm doubtful you're seeing anything other than just a bottomless pit. And there's a big pile of tailings, so I was correct. I confirmed on All Trails that this is how we get back to the car. We climb up this hill. But before we do that, the big part of the operation here, the Richinbar, seems to have been over here. Lots of things that I saw in our my aerial reconnaissance earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if there once was a head frame right here, hoisting out stuff out of this pit here, which the fence has seen better days, so gotta be really careful again. I don't like this. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's as far as I'm willing to get. That, I assume that's a deep one there too. It's like the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi almost. You really can't see down, but it's like you'd fall in and be digested over thousands of years. All right, I might have to do this one double-fisted here and just listen and report back to you what I hear, because this is a big one. This could cause a collapse. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, I threw the big rock down there and you heard it. I heard it knock down other dirt that would go down, but it didn't seem to go down terribly far. So maybe they plugged it, maybe it got partially filled in, or maybe it wasn't that deep to begin with. There's so many structures out this way and foundations. This is really where it's at. Even up the hill more, you can see plenty. And those curious round things down there I saw from the air. Let's go get a closer look. These round structures were probably some kind of chemical storage for leaching or processing ore. My best guess. I could be way off, but usually when I see things like that, it's what they were, something along those lines. It's very strange. It almost looks like it's made of mud or some kind of clay and brick. What in the heck is this? I'm almost afraid to walk on it, but it looks like it's filled in. I thought it was like hollow on the inside. So what could this be? Huh. Very strange. And there's like natural rocks down there too that look really pretty and interesting. The sandstone down there. Doesn't really look like the construction of the Perry Mesa culture, I would say. That kind of does in a weird way. It's not, but... Or what if it is and I'm just that ignorant? No, it couldn't be. What the heck was this thing? It just like goes right there and ends. What's the practicality of something like that? No idea. And the foundations of that, what I am predicting were like some kind of a processing thing, part of a stamp mill or something like that. Nothing left though, really, other than just this concrete and metal. It's another one of those round structures here that we're about to walk on top of. But same thing here, it barely goes down at all. Very weird. And of course, some modern graffiti. Gotta love that. Yeah, so the Richinbar mine, pretty cool, man, pretty cool. Right at the bottom of the tailings where that deep pit is on the other side of that. And we're at the bottom now of this whole, whatever this was, processing facility. So I'm calling it in graffiti. And then these weird things that I have no idea what they are. All right, so I think the mine proper is all back that a ways. So I'm looking for now the Pueblo that I heard about and don't really know where it is. So this trail keeps going, so I'm wondering if there's even more Richinbar down this way or Indian ruins. Well, no ruins per se, but another open pit, mine shaft with no fence around this one. Looks kind of plugged up. There's an old ladder or timbers in there, but I still don't want to fall in there. No, thank you. Well, if we don't find that dang Pueblo, this should be a good view of the Agua Fria down there. Just look at that view. I mean, that is something else. All right, so now I'm gonna take the trail back towards the car. Now here's the thing I'm wondering, is the Pueblo on this segment of the trail, did I literally walk right over it, which is possible, because when they're rubble, they're hard to spot. Did I not see it yet? Who knows? All right, did I find the Black Mesa Pueblo? Forget the name of it, but over there's where the petroglyphs were. And look what I see here. This looks too deliberate to be natural, and this is what I've seen a lot of our Perilous Mesa tradition ruins look just like this, and you can kind of see a wall, but this one's pretty decimated, so I think I actually found it. This has got to be it, because if it's not this, I have no idea where it would be. Oh yeah, you can see a lot of foot traffic has walked in here, giving me more reason to suspect this is the another of the Perilous Mesa traditions remnants, which is really ironic when you see the remnants of the mine operation right down below. They did like their high vantage points, and this one definitely gives them a good view all around. Trying to take a break in the wind here to talk to you about this. So this is one of, I believe, hundreds of things like this scattered all over Agua Fria National Monument. And there's some really well-known ones you can find, some not as advertised as well as others. This might be among those, but this one's not as impressive as others we've already seen, like Pueblo La Plata, in my opinion. But it's still cool. It's built by the same people, so gotta have lots of respect for that. It'd also be interesting to get up in the air and fly around, but if you haven't been able to tell already, it's really gusty all of a sudden, and too gusty to fly. So at least for my taste and my safety, what I require to get up in the air, this is not conducive to a good time. All right, folks, I'm gonna leave you where we started, here at the foot of this windmill. It's a fantastic hike out there. It exceeded all my expectations. You got to see old mining history, old Native American, Indian history, as well as beautiful views to boot. A true trifecta.